Ever wondered why homelessness is on the rise in some of America's top cities? It's a question that begs for answers and understanding. In this exploration, we'll delve into the escalating crisis of homelessness in three of America's most renowned cities: New York, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. Each city tells a unique yet intertwined tale, marked by a series of unfortunate events and policy decisions that have led to the current predicament. We'll touch on the impact of the 2020 lockdown, a pivotal moment that amplified the plight of those living paycheck to paycheck, pushing many into the harsh realm of homelessness. We'll also delve into the ongoing challenges faced by these cities, from systemic issues to economic factors, and how they continue to feed into this growing crisis. Unraveling these stories may not be comfortable, but it's necessary. So, let's dive into the heart of the matter, starting with New York City. New York City, the city that never sleeps, is facing an unprecedented crisis. A metropolis once bursting with life now echoes with the silent stories of the homeless. The roots of this crisis can be traced back to the year 2020. The city, like the rest of the world, was put under lockdown due to a rampant virus. Life as we knew it came to a standstill. New York, a city of dreams, suddenly became a city of nightmares for those living paycheck to paycheck. Small jobs dried up, incomes vanished, and the rhythm of the city was disrupted. As the days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, the bills started to pile up. For many, these bills became insurmountable mountains of debt, impossible to scale. The year 2023 bore witness to a grim reality, an eviction crisis like no other. Over 11,000 New Yorkers, unable to pay their bills, were forced out of their homes. This devastating wave of evictions left many with no choice but to brave the harsh streets of the city. The city that never sleeps had suddenly become a city where many had no place to sleep. The struggles of those living paycheck to paycheck were amplified by the lack of affordable housing and the rising cost of living. The city was under siege, not by an invading army, but by a socio-economic crisis that threatened to rip apart the fabric of society. Yet, amidst the despair, the spirit of New York remained unbroken. Communities rallied together, providing food, shelter, and support to those affected. It was a testament to the resilience of New Yorkers, a glimmer of hope in a city under siege. But New York isn't alone. Let's journey to the West Coast, to San Francisco, a city known for its iconic Golden Gate Bridge, vibrant tech scene, and a growing homelessness crisis. But that's a story for another time. San Francisco, known for its Golden Gate Bridge, is now gaining notoriety for a different reason. Often painted in the rosy hues of postcards, this city has a less glamorous side that is increasingly hard to ignore. San Francisco has been grappling with a homelessness issue that has only been exacerbated in recent years. To understand this crisis, we need to take a step back to 2008. The global financial crisis left deep scars on the city's landscape, with many residents losing their homes and livelihoods. The city has struggled to recover, and the increase in homelessness is a stark reminder of the lasting impact of that economic downturn. In a twist of irony, policy decisions meant to alleviate the problem have in fact contributed to it. The governor of California introduced a bill that aimed to provide financial support to the city's poorest residents. However, this well-intentioned policy had unintended consequences. The promise of free money, as some would call it, led to an abuse of the system. Many people found themselves faced with a choice: work for a living or rely on the government's financial assistance. For some, the decision was easy. Why work when you can receive money for free? This mindset, unfortunately, led to a further increase in homelessness. As people stopped working, they had more idle time, and some turned to drugs, spiraling further into a cycle of poverty and homelessness. San Francisco's story is a cautionary tale about the complex nature of homelessness and the unintended consequences of well-meaning policies. It's a city that, despite its beauty and wealth, is struggling to find a solution to a problem that is deeply rooted in its socio-economic fabric. From the Golden Gate to the City of Angels, let's explore the situation in Los Angeles. Los Angeles, the city of dreams, is now a city of nightmares for many. Los Angeles, with its sun-drenched streets and star-studded avenues, has been grappling with a similar situation as its northern counterpart, San Francisco. The city's homelessness crisis has been steadily escalating, largely due to policies that mirror those in San Francisco. The system, initially designed to assist the destitute, has been exploited and has inadvertently fostered a culture of dependency. A safety net transformed into a hammock, as it were. When the government began providing financial assistance to those in need, it sparked a perverse incentive. People began to realize they could survive without working, simply by relying on these handouts. As this dependency grew, so did the number of homeless people. With no job or significant responsibilities, many found solace in substance abuse, further exacerbating the problem. The city's glittering skyline now stands in stark contrast to the sprawling tent cities that have sprung up beneath its towering edifices. The same policies that were intended to alleviate poverty have instead created a cycle of homelessness and dependency. The result? A city once known for its glamour and allure, now marred by a growing underbelly of despair and destitution. So what does this all mean for America? It's a stark reminder that policy decisions have real-world consequences, and that solving homelessness requires more than just good intentions. It requires informed, thoughtful, and compassionate policymaking. These cities, once symbols of American prosperity, now represent a growing issue. From New York's lockdown hardships to San Francisco and Los Angeles's flawed assistance policies, we've seen how these factors have contributed to a surge in homelessness. The common thread: policies that failed to consider the long-term impact on those living paycheck to paycheck. The question now is, how will America respond to this crisis? Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.